Heinrich. What? Heinrich watches? Yes, Heinrich watches. Heinrich watches is a campaign, or will be a campaign later the year on Kickstarter, and I'm so proud to be able to present you the pre-production models already today. Hello and welcome to Watch Maxie's Watch Videos. My name is Axel and I'm glad to have you on the show. I don't know whether you knew it or not, but 7 out of 10 visitors to my channel do not subscribe to my channel. Only 3 out of 10 will be informed about new releases, new stuff I publish. And if you do not want to run the risk of missing an interesting video and do you want to be informed, it's pretty easy. Just subscribe to my channel below the link, hit the subscription button, activate the bell, and you're on the safe side and you won't miss any of my future videos. Heinrich Watches stands for Wolfgang Heinrich. He is the brain behind the brand. He is a non-professional diver and he really likes the 70s. He likes watches. And about 2 years ago, he had the idea to launch a known watch and a known watch brand. And the Heinrich watch I'm going to show you today is the result of this. It clearly has references to the 70s. It has references to his hobby, diving. Although it's not a 100% diver's watch, but I'll come to that during the video. I do like the watch really a lot, and it's going to be launched towards the end of the year as a Kickstarter campaign. I have to look up, I think the price is around €555 or $600, something around that, as an early bird subscription. So I put the link to the website in my video description. I don't get any kickback, I get nothing for the video, I don't pay anything, I just do it because I like the watch, I like the design, and I think these kind of initiatives deserve support. And now let's move to the watch and have a closer look. So here we've got the 3 Heinrich watches I've got for review. We've got the watch with the black dial. We have a watch with a really nice dark green dial and the one with the gorgeous blue dial. Let's have a look how the watch is on the wrist. First I have to take off and I think the green one has more or less the right size for me. So on the wrist, really nice. It is not a slim watch, but since there are no big or long horns, it still wears comfortably on the wrist. Let's have a look at the specifications of the watch. The watch has a diameter of 41 millimeter, a lug to lug size of 47 millimeter and a lug width of 20 millimeter. The thickness of the watch, including the nicely made steel case back and the double domed sapphire crystal, is 13.6 millimeter. Without the sapphire crystal, it's 11.5 millimeter. The hands and the indices are filled with Super Luminova BGW9, and the bezel is one directional with 120 clicks. The watch is stuffed with an automatic movement Sellita SW200-1. The watch case is beautifully made and the end link really well fits to the case. There isn't much of a gap, nicely made, and you can see the edge of the end link is in line with the edge of the case. Really nicely made, and design which is not excessively used by others. The bezel turns in one direction with 120 clicks, and you may notice it that I have to grip a little bit faster, and that's one point I'd like to mention. The design of the bezel, which is in line with the case, doesn't stand over, and the pattern on the bezel doesn't facilitate bezel operations with gloves in or underwater, so it's not a typically designed diver's bezel. It works fine, but it's not totally easy to use, and that's a point which I'd like to mention. It does have some diver watches specifications with the water resistance and the turning bezel. However, there are no minute indices on the dial, as you may notice, just the thick 5-minute indices. So it's probably not an officially rated diver's watch. Although it has a water resistance of 200 meter, it is a robust watch, screw down crown, but maybe not a 100% diver's watch. But it's a watch which with a design which really stands out, and I do like it a lot. For me, to be honest, the bracelet is the star. It does look a bit like a mesh bracelet. However, if you have a closer look, you see these are single pieces with clearly defined edges, and there are separated links of the bracelet which are held with screws, so you can shorten the bracelet by single links and fit it to your wrist. The clasp is full metal clasp, and the clasp is milled. It's not a stamped clasp, solidly made. A fold over clasp with the pusher mechanism here. It smoothly opens. It has a really quick adjustment system. So if you need it, you can make the bracelet a little bit longer or shorter depending on your needs. And in addition to that, you have the fine adjustment holes to perfectly fit the bracelet to your wrist. I do like the look. As you can see, we have the logo of Heinrich. It's a kind of iconized lion head, so nicely made, and the overall look is something which I haven't seen too often, and it perfectly fits to the watch. Now, Wolfgang Heinrich lives in the area of Stuttgart, where the watch is designed and where the idea was born, and the watch is assembled and built in Pforzheim, the traditional German watch industry area, with a good Swiss movement, so nothing from Chinese origins or so. Really nice watch, nicely made, high quality. And now let's have a look to the close-up shots. A really nicely made watch with polished hands, and the 5-minute indices have also a metal frame filled with a dark lume color, really nicely made. The case is brushed on the side, while the beveled edge is polished. Really nicely made with certainly some effort. It's not just an easily made watch, but well thought through. And as you can see, the beveled edge changes in the side. It's a little bit thinner towards the lugs, and again then gets thicker towards the crown, then narrows down again. Absolutely nicely made. The crown itself is a screwed down crown, and the gap between the crown and the case may become a little bit smaller in the production series. This one here is according to the specifications to protect the case from scratches when screwing down the crown. So this may be reduced by a friction of 1 millimeter, but that's not yet decided. The Heinrich logo probably will become a little bit smaller on the production models. So this is probably not the final design. It's going to be reduced a little bit. As you can see on the back, the bars of the bracelet are quick change bars, so it should be really easy to change the strap, or at least to remove the bracelet and replace it by a silicone, rubber, or if you like, leather strap. By the way, although this is a kind of a diver's watch with a really good water resistance, I could think of a brown leather strap which could fit perfectly to this watch. Well, let's have a look at the watches at night. First, I turn off the first video light, then I switch off the second one, and we have a night view of the watches. As you can see, the watches are bright and clearly visible. However, and that's one of the very few points I could criticize, if any, due to the double-domed sapphire crystal, you have some reflections of the indices on the sapphire crystal, which can be confusing in some situations. As you see the right side, you see the 30, 25, 35, the reflection of the indices coming into the watch and fading in and fading out, fading in, fading out. So this can be confusing. And what also can be confusing is that the 12 o'clock position is not clearly marked other than the triangle of the rotating bezel. And if the bezel is not exactly on the 12 o'clock position, you probably may have an issue to identify the exact time, because you can't identify the 12 properly. We have two watches here with both the crown is on the right side as I picked them up from the desk, and they do look pretty similar, and due to the reflections slightly confusing, but this is something I would accept just because of the really outstanding watch design. Well, you have seen all different models. The watches will be available probably as of September in a Kickstarter campaign for €555 or $600 respectively. This one is the green version. Here we've got the blue version and the black one. Well, that was my video about Heinrich watches. I really do hope I was able to surprise you. I was surprised by the watches. Really interesting stuff, and if you do like these kind of videos, subscribe to my channel, recommend my video, comment my videos, and look forward to the next ones to come. So do I. Cheers, Axel.